If you bleed silver and black, then subscribe to the #1 most watched Raiders channel on YouTube. I'm trying to get to 115,000 subs. Why? This is the off season. More subs equals more videos. So hit that sub button, turn on those notifications. I promise you, I'm going to keep you covered all off season. Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, and I have survived the bachelor party weekend. Why? Well, probably because of Panda Supps. So I took some BCAAs to my trip to make sure that I stayed hydrated. And I'll tell you what, you drink Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It is tough to be able to get up the next morning. But with you guys, with Panda Supps, use code Raiders, 35% off at pandasupps.com. I'll tell you a little bit more about why these products are going to keep you healthy and living great going into this off season. So coming up here, y'all, we're going to be talking about the latest news and rumors because the Raiders did do two things over the weekend. Nothing groundbreaking, but we still have to go ahead and talk about it. Then we'll get into some of the rumors that I need to go ahead and discuss. First off, Marcel Reece, man, this made me really, really happy that the Raiders went ahead and they promoted him, former fullback of the Silver and Black. He was promoted this weekend. He is now the Senior Vice President and Chief of Staff for the team. Reece previously served as the Senior Advisor for the Raiders and Mark Davis. So when I go back and I look at highlights of players, Marcel is actually one of my favorite dudes. So all I want you guys right now, show Marcel some love, like the video. If you're happy that Reece was promoted, not only is this one of these dudes that I really truly believe he is a Raider for life, now this is even more on top of that. So if you're excited like I am, like the video right now that Marcel was promoted. That wasn't, though, the only move that the Raiders went ahead and they made this weekend. Matt Edwards, he is now the pass rush specialist coach for the Silver and Black. Former Titans assistant outside linebacker coach. He was also assistant special teams coach. And then in 2017, up until this past year, he was a special teams guy, converted to outside linebacker, which is very intriguing considering the fact that the Raiders are going to really implement that 3-4 and have a lot of outside linebackers that they need to go ahead and work on. Speaking of which, this is actually one of the guys that I really actually believe that he's going to be working very closely. It's Malcolm Koonce, and he is celebrating his 24th birthday today, June 6th. So everyone, comment down below, HBD, show some love to my guy Malcolm Koonce representing that 24th birthday. Malcolm, happy birthday from me and the whole Raiders Report crew. Now coming up here, we went through the news. It's time to get into some of the rumors, and we're going to look at an updated look here at the Waller extension watch, the latest on Ndamukong Suh and Alex Leatherwood. Is he already the locked-in starter at right tackle? I'll get into Waller in a second, but if you haven't watched the Raiders Report over the last week, here's a reminder. I am doing an event at Barcode Burgers with Raiders defensive tackle Jonathan Hankins. The date and time, Saturday, June 11th from 1 to 4 p.m. Location, 1590 East Flamingo Road in Las Vegas. The ticket prices are $20 a pop, but proceeds go to the Just One Project. There's going to be pictures. There's going to be autograph signings. There's going to be raffles. It's going to be a really, really good cause. And if you want to go ahead and get your tickets, look down below, chatsports.com/burgers. That link is going to be available for you all in the comments and description of today's video. Other players that are going to be at the event: Bilal Nichols, Andre James, Neil Farrell Jr., Jalen Richard, Kendall Vickers. Fingers crossed, because I was told Chandler Jones might also be in attendance. So, right now, it's going to be 115 degrees on Saturday, and we're letting the first 100 people come in. You don't want to be outside in the 115 degrees. Come in, watch the event, scan this QR code right now because it's going to be an awesome event for an awesome cause. Let's talk about Darren Waller and the extension, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is there hasn't really been too much of an update around Waller and the Raiders, though Waller and his agent still, from what I am told, believe that they will reach a contract extension with the Raiders. The NFL news, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is because Cowboys tight end Dalton Schultz, he wants a new deal. Well, when I look at Darren Waller as being currently the 17th highest paid tight end in the NFL, and this is based on a per year basis, why does that Dalton Schultz extension matter? Well, I'll kind of tell you here in just a second. So how about this? Why for yes and for no? should the Raiders extend Darren Waller? I have said multiple times my stance on this, and for me, it is the sooner you get this deal done, the better it is, not just for Waller, but in the long run of the Raiders, because he's got 2 years left on his deal. You can make him the highest paid tight end in the NFL right now, and then you go back and you look like 3, 4, 5 years down the line, his contract is going to be great. The reason why I'm saying sooner the better is because this season, there were 3 tight ends that were franchise tagged, and those tight ends were David Njoku, Mike Gesicki, Dalton Schultz. Well, Njoku has already signed a contract extension, which values his deal at $13.69 million, making him the 5th highest paid tight end in the league. Then you have Dalton Schultz, and if I'm Dalton Schultz's age and I look at Njoku's deal, and I'm like, that's the type of money I want. And then Gesicki, there are reports around Gesicki wanting $17 million because he is lined up as a wide receiver more than he lines up as a tight end. And not that Waller is viewed as a wide receiver more than a tight end, but he could also get that type of money. So all I'm saying is this: the sooner you do it, the more money you're going to save, unless you don't view Darren Waller as part of the long-term plan, and I don't think anybody actually views that. The next story coming up here on the Raiders Report, and we got the new T-shirts. If you guys want a T-shirt, I can get you a link. You just got to hit me up on IG, though, at MitchellRentz365. The latest on Ndamukong Suh. We'll talk about Suh, and I'm going to be telling y'all why I want the Raiders to sue me. No, kind of kidding. I want Ndamukong in the silver and black. But today's show is presented by Panda Supps, and I'll tell you what. I went to this bachelor party this weekend, believe it or not, had a few drinks. I know, crazy. And every single morning, I woke up, I took a scoop of the recovery. Every single night, took a scoop of the recovery to make sure that my body was happy and it was healthy. And there was a few nights that, I'm not going to lie, man, I struggled to be able to wake up, which is when I went ahead and I took a scoop of the Fierce pre-workout. I kind of joke when I say this, but I'm also not. You got to make sure that you're hydrated this summer. It's hot. It's crazy out there. PandaSupps.com. Use code Raiders for 35% off. And because my guy Maribati, who owns Panda Supps, such a cool guy, he was like, wait, did you go out? What were you drinking? I was drinking tequila, vodka, and I was mixing it with the BCAAs, no joke, to make sure I was feeling good. Tastes good, no calories, helps with your hydration. You're going to be able to replenish and burn fat. So if you're trying to stay healthy, you're trying to drink some good stuff, PandaSupps.com, go ahead and try out all their awesome products. The latest and probably the biggest rumors going on right now around the Raiders after they got a whole bunch of money after June 1st is, are they going to go ahead and they're going to sign this guy, Ndamukong Suh, who I would probably mention as the top free agent defensive tackle left on the board? Ian Rappaport, NFL Insider, linked the Raiders to Suh a few days ago, and from what I've been told, this still remains the same. I know for a fact that the Raiders are interested in Ndamukong, and it does sound like the Raiders aren't the only team that is interested. That is per rap sheet. So what I went ahead and I tried to do this. I went, all right, I know the Raiders are interested, so if you were to ask me who are the top destinations for Suh, I went and I looked at money. I went and I looked at past reports. I looked at depth charts. I went ahead and I looked at everything that people were saying from OTAs for all 32 teams, and I came up with the Minnesota Vikings, the Cleveland Browns, the Bengals, and the Titans. I am a believer that one of these 5 teams here end up signing Ndamukong Suh, and I don't have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on here because they went ahead and they signed Akeem Hicks. So in terms of the Raiders depth chart, and what does this mean necessarily for the Silver and Black, you got Hankins, you got Farrell, Bilal Nichols, Matthew Butler. The pictures that you see up there are the guys that I would say are the top 4 defensive tackles right now. So in terms of, well, what does this mean necessarily for Suh? I'm going to say this. Watch the defensive tackles at minicamp. And as a friendly reminder, mandatory minicamp for the Raiders starts June 7th. And it goes until June 9th, so it's 3 days. I am going to be looking very, very intensively at the Raiders DTs, at a unit that was ranked 19th in the NFL last season in terms of giving up rushing yards. If you were to ask me, okay, who are the locks to make the 53-man roster? Yes, the Raiders have 9 DTs on the team right now, or what? Actually, I think it's 10 as it stands. Here are the guys that I believe are locks. Hankins, you're going down, Hankins, though, this weekend in my burger eating contest. Bilal Nichols, Neil Farrell Jr., Matthew Butler. In terms of the other players that I would say, are on the bubble. The Raiders recently just signed Tyler Lancaster, Kendall Vickers, Andrew Billings, Vernon Butler, Kyle Pecco, Myron Tagovailoa-Amosa, the UDFA from Notre Dame. So you have 10 people, and I understand that. But if you're not confident in those other players, then sure, maybe you go ahead and you look at somebody like an Ndamukong Suh. Or I do want you guys to keep this player in mind, and it's Darius Philon. He played for the Raiders last season as a DT. I thought he filled in pretty well, if I'm being 100% honest with you. And I've been told, and he's made it pretty vocal on social media, that Philon still wants to be a Raider. He wants to be with this team. The issue is this. He tore his patella tendon in the week 18. It's a wicked injury. Then he underwent a second surgery in March 15th. So how healthy is he? The Raiders also brought him in for a visit, and he didn't sign with the team. Not because they don't like him, maybe because they want to take it a little bit slow and see the other players that they have on the roster. So a lot of times when I talk about Suh, this show is built on the backs of the nation, and people ask me, all right, Mitch, would you rather have Darius Philon or Ndamukong Suh? So let me know in the comment section right now, NS for Ndamukong Suh or DP for Darius Philon. I am going to go ahead and say that Suh is a better fit than Philon. Not only is he a better player at 35 years old, he's a better fit for this new Patrick Graham system. If you want to say, all right, Philon could potentially be a plan B, let's say you miss out on going out and getting, I don't know, another top DT, sure, I would like to be able to see if Philon could still bring it to the table. The issue also is this. Yes, he's coming off a good year, but when you go back and you look at every single year Philon has been with Gus Bradley, last year's Raiders defensive coordinator, who is now in Indianapolis, Philon has put up good numbers, okay? 2021, 2018, 2019. In years that he hasn't been with Gus Bradley, it hasn't been a good fit. And I know the Raiders want larger defensive tackles than what Philon's going to be able to do, which is why I think it's Suh over Philon. The next story coming up here on the Raiders Report, Leatherwood. If the season were to start today, would he be the starting right tackle? It's kind of looking that way. Before I break down this story around Leatherwood, bright and early this morning I woke up and I made a video over on Locals, which I want you guys to go ahead and check out. If you just need more Raiders content, it's RaidersReport.locals.com. The video, Raiders mandatory minicamp, 12 roster battles to watch. If you want to see what those battles are, who I think could be ultimately winning those, then seriously, become a supporter over on Locals, RaidersReport.locals.com. So let's now get into this story around Alex Leatherwood here, and here's a quote from The Athletic. Leatherwood was practicing at right tackle and split first-team reps with Brandon Parker during team drills during media practice viewing last week. He was also observed working mostly at right tackle. He's listed as a guard tackle on the roster, so the Raiders plan for him to work at both spots. But there appears to be an early emphasis on seeing what he's got to offer at tackle. So I read that, and I'm like, okay, I can wrap my mind around that a little bit. Here's what Raiders' new offensive line coach Carmen Bracillo said on what he wants out of his offensive linemen. Smart, tough, played their best football when it counts the most. And that's what I want almost out of every single one of my football players. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to look at his PFF grades from 2021. He played in 1,104 snaps, an overall grade of 45.0, a pass blocking grade of 29.0, a run blocking grade at 62.1. Now, sure, he played 75% of his snaps at right guard and played the other 25% at right tackle, but personally, I saw him playing better as an offensive guard than I did as a tackle. So he brings up playing the best, or Carmen Bracillo talks about, I want my guys to play the best when it matters the most. I watched Leatherwood. Here are his 21 stats. 14 penalties, 8 sacks allowed, 17 hits, 65 pressures. That is a ridiculous number, and it's a very bad rookie season. On top of that, I actually think most of his penalties came in moments that, well, the Raiders needed him to be his absolute best. So what is your confidence level in Leatherwood? Scale it for me from 0 to 10. I want Alex to succeed, and if he is able to succeed at right tackle, that does make this offensive line a lot better. And I mentioned a lot of the reasons in my Locals video that I put out, but seriously, 0 to 10, your confidence level in Leatherwood. If you were telling me right now Leatherwood's going to be the right tackle, it's a 3. I watched his tape from college, I watched his tape last season, and I went ahead and I've talked to some people inside that organization. I'm still going to sit up here and say that it's a 3. If you were to put him at guard, then I would go ahead and say it's a 6. If his footwork can get better, yes, he's been working his freaking tail off this offseason. I've heard he's lost a little bit of weight as well. And if Brasillo can work with him and get the footwork down, then hopefully, right tackle works. But one thing that you're seeing this offseason for these Raiders coaches, like a guy like Jonathan Abram, they are trying to put them in certain situations to see if it works. Because if it doesn't, if they're not committed to you, or if that regime didn't draft you, they don't really hold anything accountable. All they want is to put the best team out on the field, and that's what I believe they're going to end up doing. Before I leave you guys all today, remember, I'm going to be live tomorrow on the Raiders Report, which I go live every single Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific. The only way I don't go live at this time is if there is breaking news. So, subscribe, turn on those notifications, then click all. And if there's no breaking news, I'll see you tomorrow for Raiders Live.